From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Cascade Paint & Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Happy holidays from Weather NorCal and our sponsors. Have a wonderful holiday season.
Happy Friday evening to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. Thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Let's get you right into your weather headlines. And we're going to talk about, of course, the off and on rain that will continue through this weekend. We're going to talk about the timing of that here through the weekend and how much rain and snow we can expect. Not to mention, of course, the gusty winds, flooding potential, mudslides, debris flows, rock slides, the works. That's something that really we need to think about and pay attention to over the weekend. And gusty winds. We saw them the last few nights. We'll see them again over the next couple of days off and on. But I do expect things to quiet down for next week. Weaker winds. We're looking at more sunshine and, of course, drier conditions in the forecast as well. Hey, let's take a look at Krueger's Quickcast for your Friday, December 27th. A quick look at your forecast here for the next 24 hours. You can see here for tonight, we're dropping down to the low 50s, and there's going to be some wet weather out there for the valley, wet weather for the higher elevations, with snow levels probably around 6,000 feet and probably even just slightly above that in many cases. Taking you out the door here for tomorrow morning, it's going to be a wet start to the day, maybe a little breezy out there as well, with temperatures in the 40s and even some 50s for some of the higher elevations, and really mainly 40s. It's the coast that'll be looking at low 50s and low to mid 50s for the valley for tomorrow morning. The last in the series of atmospheric rivers is right here, and it's really beginning to take shape. We're beginning to feel the impacts here as we go into the evening and overnight hours. This is the same atmospheric river that will impact us throughout the weekend, but at times more than others. So overall, what we're seeing here as we go into tomorrow, there you can see the potential for that flood risk, mainly to the north and west of the valley tomorrow, with the bigger risk off towards northern Humboldt and into Del Norte County as well. So we look at Futurecast here for tonight. There's that rain. Now notice where most of it is to the north and to the west for the most part. That will spread a little bit more to the east and to the south a little bit. But even for the valley, most of it will be out towards Reading. Not as much rain to the south in Red Bluff or places like Chico. That's tomorrow morning. Snow levels still fairly high, mainly above 6,000 feet. Now you'll notice that east to westward progression of that rain. That's the atmospheric river aimed right at us, and that's why the moisture is kind of moving in that direction. As we go through Saturday afternoon, we're going to see all of that push northward, and most of the rain Saturday afternoon will be mainly in Siskiyou County, parts of Trinity County, Del Norte County, and northern Humboldt County, but the rest of us, as you can see, will be dry by Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, most of it's up to the north as well. But eventually by Saturday night into Sunday, we're going to see that shift to the south. And we'll take a closer look at that in the deeper dive forecast here in just a bit. But the winds, they are going to be fairly calm for the most part tomorrow morning. A little breezy here for parts of the valley and off to the east, but not that bad. Now, they will progressively, though, get stronger through the afternoon on Saturday, and especially going into Saturday night and Sunday morning, where we could see gusts possibly along the coast again, close to 40 and 50 miles per hour. But for tomorrow, looking at temperatures in the upper 50s, maybe even around 60 for the valley. Temperatures will be in the 40s. Again, most of that rain by the afternoon will be up to the north. Temperatures probably somewhere in the upper 50s to low 60s along the coast. All right, let's take a look at that 7-day outlook. There's that rain through the weekend, but look at this. I mean, we're finally seeing a break from this wet weather, and it looks like it should be dry through all of next week, with temperatures in the mid to upper 50s for those daytime highs. For the coast, inland, and for Trinity County, I've still got a slight chance in there on Monday. Then maybe Wednesday, Thursday of next week, seeing some indication that most of the rain that's over the Pacific Northwest at that point may just skirt northern California, so giving places like, say, Del Norte County, maybe northern Humboldt County, a chance for showers. In the meantime, Siskiyou, Modoc, and the eastern mountains, you're wet over the weekend, but by next week, all of those areas will be dry through next week, including your New Year's Day. That is a look at Krueger's Quickcast. Now let's take a look at what we've got going on with our deeper dive forecast. And we're going to start with that storm timeline. So as we go into tomorrow morning, it's going to be a minor impact. We're going to be looking at those showers through the morning hours. Wind's not that strong, but then as we go through the afternoon, we'll be looking at those showers mainly to the north. Gusty winds, the winds will be picking up through the day. And then, of course, looking at snow levels still fairly high. So it's going to be a minor impact. There may be some minor flooding in some areas here for Saturday morning with an already saturated ground. It doesn't take much for us to see at least some minor flooding. And then, of course, as the showers shift more to the north, there's going to be a lower impact because we're seeing less rainfall and less snow even at the highest elevations. It's the high impact that we've got to look for Saturday night into Sunday morning. This is when I expect some of the heaviest rainfall. We'll be looking at that steady, moderate to heavy rainfall Saturday night and Sunday morning. And this could lead to potential for more flooding, mudslides and debris flows. Snow levels are also dropping slightly down to about 4,000 feet, maybe even locally lower in some cases. This will mean the potential for more chain requirements, especially east of I-5 over some of those higher mountain passes. But at this point, I-5 should be okay, but it is worth checking the chain requirements and road conditions before heading out Sunday morning. But again, also very gusty winds. We're seeing the strongest winds Saturday night, upwards of 40 to 50 miles per hour, especially along the coast. But then what will happen is showers will be on the decrease through the day on Sunday. By Sunday evening, Sunday night, most of that rain is gone. But still, the winds are dying down, but still some delayed reaction to the rain that we're seeing. There still could be some rises in some of those creeks and streams and rivers. Snow levels still around 4,000 to 5,000 feet. But as I mentioned, by the time we get into Monday, it will be drier. So here's the big picture here. That is, of course, that atmospheric river. This is what's going to be impacting us throughout the weekend. So let's take a look at that here as we take a look at Saturday. There it is. There's that west to east flow. So the rain will be moving in that direction, and you'll notice that when we look at Futurecast. Then it all pushes northward, and the reason being is we're seeing some energy push down to the south, and that's going to cause this to tilt northward into the Pacific Northwest, not getting much rain by Saturday afternoon for Northern California. Then by Sunday, now it's back over us, and then Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, it's down to our south, and we are no longer under the influence of any atmospheric rivers. In fact, that's the case here going into Monday, Tuesday. But look at this. By the middle and latter part of next week, we are seeing another atmospheric river begin to take shape. Now, it's mainly, as you can see here, very clearly pointing into the Pacific Northwest. Some of that moisture is spilling into Northern California, but overall, it looks like most of that rain will be up over Washington and Oregon, but some of that just may clip extreme Northern California, places like Del Norte County, maybe Northern Humboldt County, maybe even parts of Western Siskiyou County. But overall, I do expect most of the rain to be to our north, and we'll be looking at mainly dry conditions. All right, let's talk about that flash flood risk here. Again, for tomorrow, most of it, the better chances will be to the north and west, and of course, really to the north and west of the valley. But by Sunday, as we see that heavier rain move in, we're beginning to see it kind of make its way eastward as well. So again, rises in creeks and streams, rivers, mudslides, debris flows, rock slides, right? We got to be on the lookout for all of that. All right, let's take you through the timing of all of this here. We're going to kind of pinpoint the timing here for you. As we go into Saturday morning, 6 a.m., again, notice the flow of this rain. It's moving from west to east. That's where that atmospheric river is pointed right at us, right? And it's just kind of moving in that direction. Snow levels are fairly high, still above 6,000 feet. Don't expect any problems, at least with chain requirements, but we will be dealing with wet roads. Also take note, it's not a very, consistent band of rain. That is, we've got some breaks in here, especially down to the south. We are seeing some shadowing in parts of the valley as well. It's mainly out towards Redding where we're seeing the bulk of the rain in the valley. And then, of course, in the surrounding mountains and, of course, the coast, seeing that rain as well. Now, I'm zooming it out here because I want to point something out. Notice through the day on Saturday, all of that rain is just shifting northward. Remember when we were looking at that atmospheric river, we saw it tilt more into the direction of the Pacific Northwest. That's exactly what's happening here. That atmospheric river is pointed right here. So the bulk of the rain, the heavy snow in the mountains is all going to be in Oregon, but we are seeing some of that still in parts of Northern California. In particular, Siskiyou County, Del Norte County, Northern Humboldt County, maybe even parts of Trinity County, and a few leftover showers down to the south. But everyone else looking fairly dry. For the valley, maybe even some clearing skies. Dry for the most part in Modoc County, Lassen and Plumas counties. That's Saturday afternoon. But then as we go into Saturday night, look what happens. See, it all begins to shift back down to the south here. So by Sunday morning, most of us are seeing that rain. So overnight Saturday into Sunday morning, we're going to start to see it turn more over to that steady rainfall, at times moderate and heavy, but we're still looking at fairly high snow levels even Sunday morning, probably above 6,000 feet. But then some cooler air will move in behind the cold front, and that will allow the snow levels to drop. Now keep in mind, once that cold front does pass, a lot of the moisture will be out of here, so we won't see heavy snow at those lower elevations, but we could be looking at the potential for chain requirements, especially east of I-5 here over some of those higher mountain passes. So by midday Sunday, now we're seeing most of that moisture off to the east here, and we're not seeing as much rain for everybody else. Even as we go into 5 p.m., still some isolated snow flurries in the higher elevations, but for the most part, it's fairly dry in the valley. As we go into Sunday night, there's going to be a weak disturbance that just may clip the northwestern portions of the state. So maybe still some showers out towards the north coast, northern Trinity and western Siskiyou County for Sunday night. But I do anticipate that by Monday, most of it should be gone. It may linger into Monday for parts of the coast, but overall drier conditions by next Monday. Rainfall totals through Sunday night, 1.5 to possibly upwards of 3 inches or more for parts of the north coast. Where we're going to see most of the rain, as we saw, was the north end of the valley around Redding. Less rain heading down to the south. And there you can see clearly the rain shadow. I mean, quite a difference, right? From 1.2 inches in Redding to 1/1200ths in Willows. I mean, even only about 1/4 inch in Red Bluff and about 1/2 inch in Chico. But we're seeing about 1/2 inch to about 1 inch off to the north and to the east. Now, again, you have to go up pretty high in elevation to see the snow. But where we do see that snow above 6,000 feet, it could go up to 3-4 feet of snow once all is said and done. But those mountain communities, most likely not seeing much in the way of any snow accumulating there, because snow levels will probably just be a little too high for that. All right, so let's take a look at this for the ski park. Obviously, if you're going out to the ski park over the weekend, you're going to want to know if it's raining, if it's snowing, what's the conditions. So remember I was talking about on Saturday, we've got that rain kind of pushing up to the north. So Siskiyou County will be dealing with that rain, of course, in particular, even around the ski park, right? Ski park, the base of the park is at 5,500 feet. That's where we've got this one right here. That's at the summit of the ski park. Okay, so watch what happens as we take you through Friday night and into Saturday. There's Saturday, even Saturday night into midnight into early Sunday morning. Notice we're seeing accumulating snow at the summit of the ski park, about 1 foot of snow, but nothing being reported out at the base, which is 5,500 feet. That's because it'll most likely be in the form of rain. Now, at times it may be kind of a rain-snow mix, but it will be rain, most likely. Then as we go into Sunday, now the snow levels are dropping and we could see maybe 6 inches of snow, maybe another foot of snow at the summit of the ski park. So bottom line, gusty winds at times. It's going to be wet at the ski park if you're going on Saturday. Just be prepared for the fact that it might be rain at times. And then, of course, on Sunday, it will be snow. So just something to kind of take into account here. All right, so we looked at the timing of the rain through Sunday night. Let's take you to Sunday night, and there, of course, is still that leftover shower activity. By Monday, we're pretty much done with, and then you can see a couple of disturbances trying to come through. There's that next atmospheric river aiming at the Pacific Northwest, which is where the bulk of the rain will be. Wednesday, Thursday of next week, some of that may clip extreme northwestern California, in particular Del Norte County, northern Humboldt, but don't count on much rainfall at that point. Now, the long range is still putting us in that drier than normal category. That's right here. That is the slimmer chance of seeing below normal rainfall. So what that's saying is most likely it'll be dry, but there's a chance we could see a few showers here and there, especially as you saw up to the north and to the west. In the meantime, also seeing warmer than normal conditions. It won't be balmy. It's not going to be hot by any stretch, but temperatures just slightly above normal for this time of the year. All right, let's talk about those winds again. So here you can see as we go into Saturday morning, the wind's not that bad. A little breezy in spots, especially in the east side of the valley here. We go into Saturday afternoon, the winds start to pick up through the day. Nothing major at this point, but the winds will be strongest as we go into late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. We're talking 30, 40, even possibly 50 miles per hour with some of the strongest gusts in Del Norte County and into Siskiyou County as well, and over some of those exposed mountain ridge tops. Now, for For the valley, probably not as strong. You can see here 14, even 30 miles per hour. We could approach that 40-mile-an-hour range for parts of the valley as we go into early Sunday morning. Now, Sunday morning, 6 a.m., the winds are dying down for the coast, but still gusty elsewhere, so that'll continue to be a problem here for early Sunday morning. Sunday afternoon, you can clearly see those winds are starting to die down. That's also with the rain wrapping itself up as well. So that's going to be it. By the time we do get into Monday, we're starting a fresh week. It looks like we'll be starting it off with drier conditions as well. So your wave heights for your Saturday, as you can see right here, let's take you into time through Sunday. We should start to see them begin to relax a little bit, and that certainly is a good sign. All right, so let's take a look at our forecast here for tonight. Temperatures in the low 50s. It's going to be wet pretty much across the board. I think most of the rain, though, will still be to the north and west, even for tonight. So there you can see your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s. There's the wet weather over the weekend. And then, of course, we've got the dry conditions for Trinity County for Monday through Friday of next week. Isn't that a welcome sight? The rain is great. We need the rain, but we could certainly use a break. All right, so there you can see, of course, for the North Coast, temperatures around 60 along the coast. Still keeping that chance in there Monday and also that slight chance for Wednesday, Thursday. But really, after this weekend, don't count on much, if anything, even for the coast. All right, so there you can see the inland areas looking at there's chance for showers through Sunday. Should be dry inland for Monday through Friday of next week. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, Weed about 46, 45 for Mount Shasta City for your Saturday, and 45 in McLeod. There's your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. Look for a high of about 46 for California Pines, 45 in Aden, and there's Cedarville, the high of about 45 degrees. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 51 degrees for Westwood, 47 in Chester, and 55 degrees for Paradise. And your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamith Painting. Your temperature should be kind of hovering around that 60-degree mark. We'll call it upper 50s in most cases. Look for a high of 58 for Redding, 54 for Lakehead. And there you can see Palisadro, a high of about 58 degrees. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for Redding. The showers here for Saturday and Sunday, but drying out on Monday. And again, you'll notice we got a lot of sunshine out there, but temperatures aren't warming up a whole lot, generally in the mid to upper 50s. Maybe a bit warmer for Thursday with a high of about 60 degrees. That is your evening update. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to watch Chase Wilson tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., noon, and then again tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. Until then, have a great weekend.
Caltrans is doing the best that they can with the amount of people and the amount of equipment they have, and they're out there trying to keep the roads safe and trying to keep everybody running, because if the roads shut down, truck drivers that are paid by the miles aren't making any money. So we want everybody to put chains on for the safety of themselves and the safety of the public. It's not worth it to drive without chains.